Hello, welcome back to Property Spy. If this is your first time, welcome. This is a channel where we appraise properties as investors with a view to sharing ideas with all the viewers and through your comments, exchanging ideas and sharing tips on how we can get going in property regardless of your income. We share different insights. We try and pull out different hidden gems in different areas. And through the video series, I go to different areas, I look at different property types. And if you're just a beginner, this video will help you. If you're an experienced or seasoned investor, there is also something for you in this video. Of course, this is not financial advice, it's purely for entertainment. Today, I would like us to focus on Derby. No particular reason why Derby, but somebody gave me feedback on one of my previous videos, and Derby, he said the video from Derby was a video covering property in Derby was really good. So you can search this channel for Derby and you'll see what I covered in that series. Now, the screen you've got in front of you is from Valap, and Valap sponsors this video that shares property appraisals. Valap is a site that helps you appraise sites, appraise deals, appraise property sites, that is. And as they've said, is deal stacking made simple. So as an example, once you've registered and you've logged in, you go to start stacking now. You add a new appraisal, right? If we just take one of these properties, let's say this one happens to be in Derby as well. You just copy the link, you come back to Voila, you paste it, and then voila, it pulls the property in from Rightmove. And then one of the great things with this tool is it appraises this deal or stacks the deal based on multiple strategies, and that's what the Mega Stack is about. So you go to Mega Stack, yes, save it. And then yes, there's an error on the page because it cannot find the EPC for this property, and that's another great thing. It pulls in the EPC, it pulls in data from the EPC, the rating, the address, and the transaction type for which that EPC was done, so if it's rental or sale, whatever. So if it cannot find the EPC, i.e. pull the information from the EPC, it stays blank, and then you come in here, you put in, let's say, 2 bedrooms, for an apartment. Let's say the floor area is 200 square meters, and the minimum it will take is 60. Say get appraisals, then it goes off, and as you can see, it's doing service accommodation, flip, buy to let, new build, HMO conversion. Now, new build is a negative price because if you're building from scratch, it's a different cost. So it's looked at the build cost for that area, and it's considered that you'd actually make a loss building 4 units. The other thing it does is that it converts your size into different particular rooms. So it is quite a useful tool. So register, log in, give it a go. It's as simple as this video has shown, and do send a message via the chat if you have any challenges. So back to the what we'll be covering today in Derby. So just looking at the different properties coming up in Derby in auction over the next coming weeks. So just looking 35 grand for land. Obviously it's very cheap for 3.6 acres, but it's only cheap depending on what you can do with the land. It looks like it's just a shrubbery and it's not arable. You most likely won't be able to develop on it, so you need to find other purposes for the land, but it's an auction for 35 grand. So this one 100,000. So these are different properties on the market in Derby. Now the idea here, what's this one saying? Okay, so the idea here is I'm trying to find what a resident of Derby would be able to afford based on the average salary in Derby. Okay, it's average, so the people earning more, the people earning less. So let's say, for example, you're a teaching assistant and you're on the average wage of 14,487. Where do you start? I know it's popular to say, well, property prices are too high and nobody can buy anything with any salary. Actually, maybe when we go through this exercise, you'd find that there is stuff you can buy. It's whether it's stuff you want, it's whether the stuff that you can buy is in the areas you'd want to live in, and what changes one could consider if you're on the average salary of 14,000 and you need to buy a house and you feel that the house property of your own is something you want. Okay, so I did a search on Google, average salary in Derby, and pay scale came up, and I just picked the one in the middle, and that happens to be the lowest, teaching assistants. Wow. Okay, so if this is all the income you get in a year, how much can you raise on a mortgage with £14,000, £14,000 roughly? Okay, so I did another search. How much can you borrow? Income multiples. So that's what you'd be searching for, income multiples for your salary. And then online mortgage advisor comes up. So you can take all these links and use them. I'll put them in the description after the video. So I plugged in, where did I plug it in? Okay, it's gone now. But in here, yeah, there you go, 14,487. So this tool very kindly does the calculation for you. It says most lenders would consider 65,000. Okay, so this is 4.5 times. So this gives us an idea as to what you could borrow. 4.5 times for most lenders. Some will do 5 times, some will do 6 times. So with £14,000, you can borrow £86,000. That's not bad for Derby. Okay. But obviously you need to think about the mortgage and what it will cover. Having said that, the mortgage lender would take all of that into account when providing the mortgage. So 6 times is not bad if you can get that. And if you buy in a nice area with increasing valuations and increasing property prices, eventually, I think it sounds like something that would be worth it. I'm trying not to give advice. So what options do you have? Let's say we go for this 65,000. So 65,000 in Derby. Let me go back to the search results. So I did a search Derby. I didn't use any other filters. I just put Derby. Remember, all you have is £65,000. What can you get? Okay, so we go scroll down. The first one's 75,000. Oops, is that the first page? No, that's page 2. Let's go to page 1 on the search results. Okay, so garage. No, that's not what we want. We want to live in a garage. 25,000. So this £25,000 one is an auction. So you stand a chance if you've got 65,000 available to you at the lender. Obviously, please, before you attend the auction, make sure all your financing is in place and the lender is going to give you the money. Because let's look at this. There must be a reason why this is £25,000. It looks like a very nice building. £25,000 for this whole structure. It's priced at this level to get people in to the auction, and then during the auction it would go much higher than that. But I don't get the feeling it would go for much higher than 65,000. But I stand corrected. I mean, some time ago we looked at a property in Birmingham that's on the market for 25,000, and it ended up going for 192,000 or something. So it's definitely one to look at. But it doesn't seem like there's anything majorly wrong with it. But note that you've not been given enough pictures of the internals. We can't see the roof from the rear. We don't know how current this this photo is. So for all you know, there may be no walls, no stairs, nothing inside. So buyer beware. It looks good from outside. I don't know Derby that well, so I don't know if Harvey Road is good. But if you have £65,000, this is definitely something worth looking at. If we go back to the summary, so you've got all these options. This one seems like this is another one in auction, 25 grand. So it's not the end of the world. Don't bury your head and run away thinking there's nothing possible. It's worth looking around, asking questions to see what one can afford or what one can purchase with your allowance via a mortgage. Now the other option is to go for shared ownership, and in this case, this one that's for 40,000 buys you a 50% share of the property. So you pay £40,000, you pay your mortgage on that, but you only own 50% of the property. The government or the developer owns the other 50%, and then when you come to sell, you have to pay them back first before you pay yourself. Any growth in the price, everything that I don't know if you get all the increase, or if your co-owner also keeps some of the increase. I'm not sure on that, but that's something worth bearing in mind. So it's a nice property, but also it's quite nice actually for 40 grand. But bear in mind that being a block of flats, there will be stamp duty, not stamp duty, there will be service charge payable, there'll be ground rent payable most likely. You need to find out how much those are and if you are prepared to cover that. It's usually leasehold, but it looks like a good enough place for your own place. It's okay if 14 grand is all that you have. I mean, the other option you have obviously is slightly more controversial. Is if you want to trade up higher to something else, it all boils down to the income you're making. You might want to consider a higher paying job, or maybe if you want to be a teaching assistant, then there are surrounding areas. Also, have a look at some of the cities near Derby, and Nottingham is 14 miles away, Leicester's 26 miles away. So those areas might pay more. I'll pay you more. So I checked the average salary in Nottingham, and it's 25 grand. So that's already 10 grand more, 11 grand more than the average in Derby. Okay, female and male, God, there is a difference there. Oh, but in Westcliff, females get paid more. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so I suppose it's not across the board, but it should be equal. All right, so there you go. Should I type in Nottingham? Where do I change that? Yeah. Let's see. Let's go state province. Searching Nottingham. Let's see what that gives me. Teaching assistant. Wow, that's quite it. Don't know if it's worth the journey time and everything for just $100 grand more. Okay. So there are other things. Yeah, you can do side hustles and stuff like that. But if you're not that way inclined and you want to stick to teaching assistants, then we've discussed some of the main options open to you. There are properties that you can afford to purchase. It might be that you can purchase something outright in auction, then it's yours, and then probably you have to do some work to improve the property and increase its value. Or you can do a shared ownership purchase deal where you own 50% and some other party owns the other 50%, but it's your own property then. Well, half of it is yours, but you have the right to live in it, and so if there are any increases in the value, you get some of that benefit as well. So being that you've got up to £60,000 for most lenders, you can still go. So this is cash buyers only. You might not be able to get this on your normal mortgage. There's a reason why it's cash buyers only. It's probably it's shared ownership as well. Okay. Okay, so that's 59,000. Studio, tenants, okay, so for investors, tenants paying $430 yeah, so rental could be an option if that's what you want. This one's a retirement property, so not quite there. It's on over 55s, depending on your age. You might be able to get that one. Another option, 168,000. Yeah. Okay, so this is it for anything up to £65,000. If you go up to 86, then you have more options, but always think about the affordability for the property, because they will not hesitate to repossess. Even that's not the end of the world, but we want to avoid that. The damage it does to your credit, if after purchasing this you want to then go on to become an investor in property, then you want to keep your credit clean, and take things bit by bit. So this is past the max of what you can afford. So 95,000. How long has this been on the market? Think about this. Let's think about this. 1, 26, 10, 20, 21. So you might be able to strike a deal. If you've got the mortgage already agreed, mortgage in principle, and this is the one you want. So you can offer what you have and see what the vendor says. So you tell them, well, I only have £80,000, £86,000 to purchase this. Would you accept it? It's been on the market for a while, so that's why it might be that if the vendor wants to really get rid of this quickly, you could offer them that. Obviously, make sure you attend the area day and night. Make sure the area is a good area to live in, and because that's where you call home for a while. So I hope you've benefited a bit from this video. That's all I've got for you today. The whole point is, regardless of what you earn, in all likelihood, most parts of the country, you will be able to buy something. It's whether that something is what you desire, and if it's not what you desire, what would you do about it to make sure that you can purchase that property? The reason to cover this type of topic really is for the budding investor, the person that wants to get started but feels held back by the income level. So these are things open to you at this price range. Obviously, you can go out and earn more. You can go out and use different tools to find deals for other people. There's deal sourcing for raising finance, or raising initial deposits and stuff like that. Some people talk about rent-to-rent and all those things. There's no ideal strategy. Everything has its pros and its cons, but the least of all would be, do not just sit there and assume you cannot afford to do anything. Just do some research, watch videos like this, and get started. If you have any questions, any comments, post in the comments. I do respond to every single one, especially because I don't get many. So please do engage. Thank you so much for watching, and happy investing.